We have some new spy photos of the new Mercedes CLE 45 AMG, and it comes with an SLR style air brake in the back. I don't know if it's an air brake, it looks like it. It definitely looks more like a brake than a spoiler in the back. Pretty cool styling here for the AMG version. I do like the wheel design. We had two different sets of wheels here for this prototype. We already made a video of the CLA, the regular one, the new one. I actually already made a redesign of this. I think it was on this channel, maybe it was on the Sketchmark. I can't really remember. But we're gonna have a look at this design. What's new for the for the 45 AMG version? Before we do that, of course, check out this Car Scoop article. Link it down below. The baby AMG EV just got real with 3 motors and a secret weapon. You got performance version of the new CLA EV, has a rear wing that deploys automatically, or of course you can go through a school zone at 30 and pop it up just to look cool. If you want to do that, you can do that manually. So CLA 45 is what it's going to be called. Report says that the baby AMG EV will have 3 torque vectoring motors and 500 horsepower. Now 500 horsepower for an AMG EV might not sound like a crazy amount, and that is good news, because I don't think, as I've said before, I don't think we need 1,200 horsepower in every single new EV that comes out. It's just getting ridiculous. So 500 horsepower, I've said it also, I think I mentioned that to me 500 horsepower in a modern sports car seems like a sweet spot to me. It just feels like 500 horsepower, it's enough. Even though cars are getting heavier, I do understand that we need more power to be able to make them feel like old school, lighter sports cars. So the disguise on earlier prototypes made it look like the cars were fitted with a fixed ducktail rear wing, which honestly would be pretty cool to see from Mercedes. A fixed ducktail, Porsche 911 style, would be very, very nice to see, but this is not the case. And to help the rear tires press into the pavement here. But now we have confirmation that what they'll actually have is an electronically or hydraulically operated rear wing, which, by the way, if you get rear-ended with this car, is probably going to be very, very expensive to fix when you have this type of solution. So some reports also have suggested the wing might function as a mini air brake. And look at this, the angle of this to me looks more like an air brake than a spoiler. I mean, it's definitely going to push the rear axle down on the ground when you have this deployed, but it's also going to reduce drag by quite a lot. So I think it can probably be used by both, similar to what we have that AMG used before on the SLR, for example. So you have another bit of tech. The CLA 45 EQ will inherit from the AMG GT, and the upcoming GT SUV is axial flux motors. And what the thing about these are, they're way lighter than normal motors, which is great. We have the big heavy battery pack, so if we can reduce weight in any way possible for EVs, well, let's do it. I mean, so that's why they're using this axial flux motors, as they call it, and they will not be available on the regular CLA, only on the AMG version. And as I said, 500 horsepower is suggested here, the power figure, which I honestly think, I hope they stick to 500 horsepower. We don't really need more. It's a small vehicle. It probably weighs a little bit more than a regular CLA internal combustion engine, but still, 500 horsepower sounds good. It does represent a healthy improvement of the 349 horsepower you get in the regular CLA 350 4MATIC with EQ technology, as they call it these days. AMG might have to come to the conclusion it doesn't need to match the about 641 horsepower Hyundai's Ioniq 5 and also the Ioniq 6N upcoming on the road, thanks to the lighter motors. I assume these axial flux motors are substantially lighter than regular EV motors if they're going to make up for 140 horsepower in a straight line. So non-AMG CLAs features fast-charging 800-volt electrics, but are currently unable to use 400-volt charging stations. That's not good. So even so, Mercedes should have fixed that ludicrous situation by next year. So CLA 45 EQ buyers will, in fact, have more charging choices. And if you have the technology, you also want to have the hardware, of course, to be able to use that technology to the full potential. That is, I think that is a pretty common thing now with EVs, and specifically charging capabilities. The technology is moving so fast, the hardware cannot keep up. So we have the tech coming before the actual solution on how to make them work together. So with that kind of practicality, plus organ pulverizing straight line speed, a drift mode as well, and we also have V8 sound-alike digital backing track. Why would we want to have that in a full EV? That just does not make sense. Same goes for the Ioniq 5. The noises that you have in there, it sounds like a video game from the 80s. Not very appealing to me, but I guess you're gonna get some V8 noise in this. And all this could make the AMG's baby sedan one of the best enthusiast EVs around when it goes on sale next year. My question is, will it be as good as the best sport EV on sale right now, which is the BMW i4 M50? I think they bumped the name up now to M60 or M70 for 2026. That is by far the best EV I've ever driven. This, by the looks of it, I mean, it looks pretty good from the rear end. I just don't like the fish mouth in the front end, and that is what I wanted to redesign as well when I did the redesign of this. But the side view still has a little bit of bubbliness to it, but it's better than before. This is, of course, also going to be sold as an with an internal combustion engine, so you don't really have the classic EQS Mercedes bubble proportions here. It looks way better than that, but still, the graphics in the front end is still something I have problems with, because we have this grille sits not in line at all with the headlight. The headlight's just floating up here by themselves, has no connection. So instead of having a clear separation of the key graphic, let's just jump into Photoshop and let me show you what I mean here in Photoshop. It's a lot easier to talk about this here. In case you missed it, my 11-hour online class in design sketching is now only $47. If you have any desire to pick up the skill of sketching products using simple tools such as a big pen and cheap print paper, this is something you want to check out. Over the years, I've taught thousands of students from all around the world how to sketch cars and products, and most of them have seen amazing results from my classes. Analog Designer Pro Pack is the full bundle of all my classes I've released over the years, and it's yours for just $47. Check out everything that's included and see what my students have to say in the link in the description, or simply visit analogdesignerpropack.com. If we look at the regular CLA, we can sort of understand what the AMG version will look like. It's going to have bigger intakes in the lower section right here, of course. This being an AMG, going to have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle mouth in the lower section, and then we have this grille sitting right between the two key lines or areas of graphics, the headlight area up here and the grille area in the bottom, and then we have the grille sitting smack in the middle of that, so we don't have this separation that I want to see when we have elegant brands like Mercedes. Is supposed to be an elegant brand to me, and I want to see that separation be I want to see the headlights sit more in line with the grille, or we can play around with it like I did in the redesign to maybe make it work a little better. Now the front end looks pretty cool to me. I do like, as I said, the wheel design. Both these wheels look great. These look like some old school Mercedes wheels, multi-spoke wheels. Beautiful design for these wheels. Same goes for the rear end, typical AMG wheels here. I also like this line that we have right here, cutting right there. And looking at this ducktail spoiler, it's not really a ducktail, I mean a fixed ducktail, but when you pop it up, definitely has a substantial angle to this air brake, as I'm gonna call it, because that's what it looks like to me. And I don't think we've ever seen this aggressive of an angle or of a spoiler on a regular, Mercedes. Yes, we had it in an SLR, but that was also a hypercar, so that's a little bit different, and that also needs, could be useful to have a big air brake in the back of that one. Well, this one, 500 horsepower, maybe need an air brake, maybe it helps with the braking, I'm not entirely sure. We have the rear graphics here as well, and you can see that I have a tiny little bumper here in the lower section that sticks out, and that is all I'm asking for. Looks pretty good, the line here, the silhouette of the rear end. You can see the side view here, the wheels again coming back, front end wheels, back end wheels. Look pretty cool to me. We have some nice line flow in this design, similar to what we have on the CLE as well, which is also a beautiful looking Mercedes for 2025 and 2026. The roofline has typical Mercedes bubbliness to it, with this singular curved roof that never really goes in a straight line. It just dips all the way back into this spoiler now that we have, sending this, I mean, look at this skateboard ramp there in the back end, looking pretty cool. It looks like we're also going to have a different side skirt for the AMG version, which is in line with other AMG models, because this is camouflage right here. The rest of the body in the middle is going to look exactly like any other CLA, of course. Now, last but not least, looking at the rear end design of this, and looking at the proportions from this view, I think it looks pretty decent to me. It looks proper. It has a clean design to it. It's not too bobbly for me. We do have the star designs here in the back, though, which is coming back in pretty much every single facelift Mercedes is going to do in 2026. All of them essentially is going to have these star patterns in the graphics for the headlight and the taillight as well. And you can see this roof line here again popping down. Don't see any aggressive diffuser going on in the lower section, but I am sure underneath this wrap, they probably have some fins cutting in here for the diffuser. Specifically, since this is an AMG model, we definitely need to have a little bit more of an aggressive diffuser in the lower section. So overall, I mean, the CLA in general, a little bit interesting front-end design with the separation of the key graphics right there. But other than that, I think it's the proportions are pretty good. Mercedes has gone into this round shape now that we didn't used to have up until maybe late 2010s or 2012, when they started to go into a lot more rounded designs, and that is what I guess they keep doing right now with the CLA as well. Going to be interesting to see how this is going to be different, specifically with the key graphics that is covered up here in the front, and also the rear diffuser here. I want to see what this will look like in production version. Probably gonna drop within, I would say, the next couple of months or so.